The announcement came on a crisp, clear morning, the kind that makes everything feel a little sharper, a little more electric. The stage was set, literally and figuratively, as Suzuki CEO Toshihiro Suzuki took the podium at the company's headquarters in Hamamatsu. Behind him loomed a striking silhouette of the much-anticipated 2025 Suzuki Jimny, flanked by bold banners bearing the cryptic tagline, "End All." But before we proceed further, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. Suzuki, a man who somehow balances the gravitas of corporate leadership with the easygoing charm of a favorite uncle, wasted no time. He grinned broadly at the crowd of journalists, automotive enthusiasts, and employees. Then, in his characteristic mix of humility and wry humor, he simply said, "Let's get to it." What followed was a presentation that would leave the automotive world buzzing for weeks. The Jimny, the rugged little off-roader with a cult-like following, has always been a paradox. It's small but capable, unassuming yet brimming with personality. The 2025 iteration promised to double down on these qualities while adding a layer of refinement and functionality that Suzuki believes will redefine the segment. Gone was the boxy simplicity of the previous model. Well, mostly. The new Jimny retains its signature no-nonsense look, but with sharper angles, a slightly wider stance, and modern touches like sleek LED lighting that doesn't overstay its welcome. The CEO called it an evolution, not a departure, a phrase that somehow managed to sound both modest and definitive. But the real story wasn't just the car, it was the way Suzuki presented it. Toshihiro Suzuki has a knack for cutting through corporate jargon with anecdotes that feel more like chats over coffee than scripted lines. At one point, he gestured at the Jimny and said, "We wanted a car that could climb mountains and still park in Tokyo without an argument." The crowd chuckled, but the underlying point was clear. This was a car designed to fit seamlessly into lives, as varied as the terrains it could conquer. The Jimny's specs were delivered with the precision of a craftsman showing off their tools. Under the hood, the 2025 model boasts a turbocharged 1.5-liter engine, paired with Suzuki's all-new hybrid system. While the CEO avoided hyperbole, his enthusiasm was palpable as he explained how the powertrain strikes a balance between power and efficiency, offering the torque needed for serious off-roading without guzzling fuel like an old V8. "It's not about speed, it's about confidence," he said, a line that felt as much a philosophy as a feature. Inside, the new Jimny surprised even seasoned enthusiasts. The cabin, though still compact, had been reimagined to make better use of space. Touchscreen controls, a cleaner dashboard design, and more supportive seats brought it firmly into the modern age without losing the simplicity that fans love. Suzuki, perhaps sensing the tension of purists in the crowd, quipped, "Don't worry, it still has knobs. We know you like knobs." Another round of laughter rippled through the room. What made the event particularly engaging was how the CEO framed the Jimny's story within a broader narrative about Suzuki's identity. He spoke about the company's long history of building vehicles that prioritized function over flash, vehicles that don't need to scream to be heard. The Jimny, he explained, is a distillation of that ethos. It's for people who value practicality but also want a car with a sense of adventure baked in. "It's the Swiss Army knife of cars," he declared, letting the metaphor linger just long enough to land without feeling rehearsed. One of the most talked-about moments came when Suzuki addressed the "End All" tagline. It wasn't about apocalyptic grandstanding, he clarified, but rather a statement of intent. The 2025 Jimny, he said, aims to end compromises. It's for the driver who refuses to choose between the city and the trail, between efficiency and fun, between compact and capable. It's a bold claim, but the Jimny has always been an underdog that punches above its weight, and the audience seemed willing to give Suzuki the benefit of the doubt. As the presentation wrapped up, Suzuki shifted gears, pun intended, to touch on sustainability. The hybrid system is part of Suzuki's broader push to reduce emissions across its lineup. But rather than dwelling on charts and percentages, he kept it simple. "We all share the same roads and the same planet. This is our way of making sure both are here for a long time." It was a rare moment of seriousness that landed without feeling preachy, a testament to the CEO's ability to read a room. The reveal ended, fittingly, with the car itself. As the banners fell away and the Jimny rolled forward, the crowd surged toward it like moths to a flame. It was a testament to the vehicle's magnetic appeal. People wanted to touch it, sit in it, imagine themselves behind the wheel. Meanwhile, Suzuki lingered at the edge of the stage, chatting amiably with attendees. He didn't rush to leave or shield himself from the crowd. Instead, he stayed, answering questions and cracking jokes as though he had all the time in the world. The implications of the 2025 Jimny are significant, not just for Suzuki, but for the automotive industry as a whole. It's a reminder that cars don't have to be massive to be mighty, that efficiency doesn't have to come at the expense of character. In an era where many manufacturers are chasing trends, Suzuki is doubling down on what it does best, building vehicles that are practical, reliable, and a little bit fun. Suzuki's decision to position the Jimny as both a lifestyle vehicle and a serious off-roader is a savvy move. It taps into the growing demand for cars that can do a bit of everything without breaking the bank. The hybrid system, meanwhile, ensures it meets tightening emissions regulations without alienating traditionalists. It's a delicate balancing act, but if anyone can pull it off, it's Suzuki. The event wasn't just a product launch, it was a masterclass in how to connect with an audience. Toshihiro Suzuki managed to convey technical details without sounding dry, to crack jokes without undermining his authority, and to present a vision of the future that felt both ambitious and achievable. By the time the event ended, it was clear that the 2025 Jimny isn't just a car, it's a statement. And if the reactions of those in attendance are anything to go by, it's a statement that resonates. As the day unfolded, the conversations about the 2025 Jimny refused to quiet down. Even as the crowd dispersed, the energy lingered like the hum of a well-tuned engine. Journalists scribbled notes, fans snapped photos, and analysts began dissecting every detail of what they had just witnessed. For Suzuki, this wasn't just another launch. It was a reaffirmation of its ability to craft vehicles that stay relevant without chasing every trend that breezes through the industry. The Jimny itself stood as the silent star, its sharp lines and unassuming size an embodiment of the phrase, "less is more." In an automotive world increasingly dominated by over-engineered and overly complicated designs, it was refreshing, a reminder that good design is as much about restraint as it is about innovation. From the hybrid powertrain to the revamped interior, every detail felt purposeful, as though Suzuki had stripped away anything unnecessary to leave only what mattered. Toshihiro Suzuki, meanwhile, left the stage much like he arrived, with an understated confidence that mirrored the car itself. By the time the event concluded, it wasn't just the Jimny that had won people over. It was the sense that, in a crowded market, Suzuki had carved out a place where function, simplicity, and a bit of daring could still thrive. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content. We thrive on your feedback, so be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Until next time, keep discovering and stay tuned.